Many players have stood out for Spurs so far this season, but the best of them all in my opinion has been Mohammed Kudus. Before joining Spurs he was highly rated, but I believe that Thomas Frank is taking him to that next level, and so far this season I believe he's been one of the best wingers in the league. And here's why. To be a top winger, you have to be great at dribbling with the ball, and Mohammed Kudus is one of the best in Europe right now. So far this season in the Premier League, he's attempted 57 dribbles and completed 30. That is more than any other player in the top 5 leagues in Europe. More than Kylian Mbappe with 47 attempted and 27 completed. More than Lamine Yamal with 44 attempted and 21 completed. It speaks volumes about how good Mohammed Kudus is when it comes to driving with the ball. And even last season, when many criticised his performances throughout the entire season, he was third when it comes to the best dribblers in Europe, only behind Jeremy Doku and Lamine Yamal. Even at his worst, he's one of the best when it comes to dribbling in Europe, and so far this season at Tottenham, he's been exceptional. A majority of those dribbles have come down the right-hand side of the pitch, which is where Kudus has spent most of his time for Spurs so far this season. But does he have any end product? All that fantastic dribbling means nothing if it doesn't lead to anything. It does with Mohammed Kudus. When it comes to successful crosses so far this season, he's ranked second in the Premier League with 14, just below Mbermo with 15, which has led to him having the joint most amount of assists alongside Jack Grealish. His distribution is also precise. 87% of his passes have been accurate, 75% of his long balls have been accurate, and 62% of his chip passes have been accurate. Kudus doesn't just do the fancy work though. He's also a determined team player who can make things happen by using his physicality. He enjoys battling for duels, trying to hold the ball up, often chasing 50-50s with enthusiasm and throwing himself into contact situations. No individual has been more involved in duels this season, and consequently, he is also the division's leading duel winner in the Premier League with 126 duels and 57 won. Now let's talk about his off-the-ball work. It's important for wingers to try and pull away from their fullback and make themselves an option when they're not on the ball, and Kudus has been great at doing that so far this season. When it comes to most progressive passes received, he ranks 4th in the Premier League with 62, 14 off Salah who's top with 76, and when it comes to most off-the-ball runs into the penalty area from wide positions, he ranks 5th with 28. It shows that whether he's central or on the right, he's great at finding that space and invading it to help out his teammates. Many players can produce brilliance occasionally, but Kudus does it consistently. He has an average SofaScore rating of 7.21 so far this season. He's one of the highest rated wingers in the Premier League. He's also very rarely injured, meaning he's reliable. He had a minor knock in the 23-24 season, but his last serious injury that took him out for at least 4 weeks was in the 22-23 season. He avoided injury last season, and he's showing no signs of slowing down or stopping so far this season. He's a reliable, consistent player, and that hugely rises his stock. And then there are the flicks and tricks that this man can produce on a football pitch. There aren't many players like Mohammed Kudus in the world of football right now. He's a throwback to a top quality winger from the 80s or 90s who will always try and take on his man, always try and produce something special. He gets bums off seats. If you're a fan of the team he plays for, every time he's on the ball you stand up, excited, looking forward. What's he going to do now? What trick is he going to produce next? If you're an opposition fan, you stand up worried, you stand up concerned. What is he about to do to my team? He's unpredictable. He could drive into the middle, have a shot on goal. He could bring the ball down with a Rabona touch, try and back heel it to a wing back, making a run forward. You don't know what he's going to do. The kind of things that this guy can do on a football pitch, that they really are special and unique. I'm looking at players like Saint-Maximin, Neymar. Not necessarily the best players we're talking about here, but the most skillful. I'm surprised that this guy doesn't come from Brazil with the kind of things that he can produce on a football pitch, but he's a real flair player. He gets bums off seats, and I'm excited to see more of him in a Spurs shirt going forward. All of these statistics show how involved Mohammed Kudus has been in Spurs games so far this season, and whilst a lot of that is down to pure individual brilliance from the Ghanaian superstar, A lot of it is also down to the way that Thomas Frank has used him. Frank has recognised that he's a player that thrives when given freedom on a football pitch, a flair player, so he's allowed him to roam as much as he wants to. He's allowed Kudus to have the freedom that he needs to succeed, and it's led to him being one of the best wingers in the Premier League and in Europe so far this season. Thank you guys for watching this video. Take care of yourselves, all the best, and as always and forever, come on, you Spurs.